A delicious, nutrient-dense diet. First, we'll talk about things to remove from your diet. Then we'll talk about good things to eat. Check the description below for many links to free resources. Don't become overwhelmed by the thought of giving up processed foods and having to prepare your meals. As we finish this video series, I'll be giving you additional resources for simplifying life in the kitchen and finding the healthiest recipes without having to search the entire World Wide Web, as well as tips for eating out. Modern life is crazy enough without adding strict diet rules that are impossible to follow. To be healthy, you just have to eat real food properly prepared. Unless you have allergies or sensitivities, you can stop worrying about cutting out entire food groups. Manufactured fake junk doesn't count as a food group. Once you learn the simple rules for food preparation, you realize there's an incredible variety of deliciousness that you can eat and enjoy. Things to remove from your diet. Number 1. Seed oils such as canola, corn, soy, cottonseed, and safflower, as well as all hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated oils. These cause gut damage and inflammation in your body and are linked to heart disease, which means don't eat commercially prepared fried foods. If you get a craving, fry that food up at home in lard or coconut oil, and carefully read the labels on salad dressings and mayo. For example, if they're calling it avocado mayonnaise, it may also contain canola oil. Don't be intimidated by the thought of making your own dressings and condiments. Once you look up the recipes, you'll be shocked at how easy and inexpensive they are to make. Number 2. Processed sugar and high fructose corn syrup. If you struggle with giving up sugar, my book, The Sugar Addiction Trap: How You've Been Set Up to Fail and What to Do About It, will help. You don't have to give up sweet treats, just change their ingredients. Number 3. Foods contaminated with the herbicide glyphosate. Glyphosate has been linked to cancer, and it is damaging to your gut health. Unfortunately, this list has grown as more testing has been done. It is now known that glyphosate is often used on the following crops, non-organic: almonds, apples, apricots, asparagus, barley, beans, canola, cherries, corn, cotton, dates, figs, grapefruit, grapes, hazelnuts, kiwi, lemon, oats, olives, oranges, peaches, pears, pistachios, plums, prunes, pluots, pomegranates, soybeans, sugar beets, sunflowers, tangelos, tangerines, walnuts, avocados, nectarines, rice, sorghum, sugarcane, and wheat. In addition to that problem, modern wheat has been hybridized so that its molecular structure is different from the wheat our ancestors consumed. If your body doesn't like wheat, it could be the glyphosate and/or the hybridization causing the problem. It's possible that an organic, ancient wheat, such as einkorn, will be easier for you to digest if it is properly prepared. Number 4. Processed foods and drinks containing artificial flavors and colors, preservatives, MSG, hydrolyzed vegetable protein, and artificial sweeteners. Get used to reading ingredient lists. Put down the foods with unrecognizable or vague ingredients. Natural flavorings is a term used to hide all sorts of things that you don't want to consume on a regular basis. No added MSG does not mean none of that neurotoxin is in the food. Food labeling laws allow manufacturers to get away with a great deal of sleight of hand. Now the fun part. Let's talk about good things to eat. The most nutritious foods are full-fat animal products, which contain the fat-soluble vitamins that our bodies desperately need. Meat, organ meats, poultry, fish, and seafood, including roe, eggs, and raw and/or fermented dairy are excellent sources of nutrients. Cook with butter, lard, bacon fat, tallow, coconut oil, or palm oil. Also consume olive and avocado oil. If you are holding on to the idea that animal fats are unhealthy, let it go. The lipid hypothesis that blamed saturated fat and cholesterol for heart disease was based on bad science. In fact, animal fats and cholesterol are vital to your health. Cholesterol is a building block for cell membranes. It helps with hormone production and assists with bile production. If you want to dive into this subject, look up the research that debunks the lipid hypothesis. And note the instances when saturated fats were grouped with trans fats as if there's no difference between them, which is false. Here is just one statement from the famous Framingham Heart Study. Framingham residents whose cholesterol levels declined over the first 14 years were more likely to die prematurely of heart disease and cancer than those whose cholesterol remained the same or increased. And a quote from Ansel Keys, known as the father of the lipid hypothesis. There's no connection whatsoever between cholesterol in food and cholesterol in blood, and we've known that all along. One of the best foods you and your family can eat is organ meat. You may not want to hear that, but eating 1 to 2 ounces of liver every day is better than a vitamin pill, or have a larger serving a few times per week. Liver also happens to be one of the most affordable health foods. Once you get used to eating liver, you can branch out to other organ meats. Some people have been told that there are a lot of toxins stored in liver, but that isn't the case. The liver filters toxins so they can be excreted by the body. Its job isn't to store them. How you cook liver makes a huge difference in the flavor. First, soak it in milk for a minimum of 30 minutes, up to 2 hours. Drain and pat dry. Then there are a couple options for cooking. 1. Fry it in butter or bacon grease on medium-low heat until just done. If you soak it in milk and are careful not to overcook it, the liver will have a much milder flavor. It's especially good with bacon and onion. 2. Grind it up and mix it with ground beef, about 1 part liver to 3 to 4 parts ground beef, so it's 20 to 25% liver. Use it instead of regular ground beef in your favorite recipes. Once you've seasoned it, you won't know the difference. If you don't want to mix it yourself, you can order this liver ground beef blend online, or may be able to get it from your local butcher. Primal Pastures has a beef liver heart blend. The highest quality meat, poultry, and eggs is pasture-raised, but that option isn't feasible for everyone. You'll find a link below to a directory that'll help you find local products. Fish and seafood should be wild-caught and tested for mercury contamination. Go to seafoodwatch.org for lists of the safest fish to buy. Raw dairy is the best option. If you can't get raw milk, look for unhomogenized cream top. Fermented dairy products like kefir and yogurt, especially homemade, are great for gut health if you tolerate dairy in the first place. Kefir is especially easy to make. It takes only a few minutes per day. Donna Schwink has many how-to videos on these and other fermented foods. Links below. Fresh whole fruit is much healthier than fruit juice. Vegetables, nuts, legumes, and grains need to be prepared in certain ways in order to get rid of anti-nutrients that can make them harder to digest and impede nutrient absorption. These techniques are simple. You'll find a link below to a free PDF with directions. That's it for Lesson 6. In the next lesson, we'll talk about how to have confident common sense about our diets while we're surrounded by misinformation.